Hi, this is Simolytics. Welcome to another lesson. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts or questions in the comments. Let's get started. Okay, in this video, we're going to learn how automatic data type conversion could be a problem for you when you're working with Power Query. So we're going to use the file that is in this folder right here. Watch out for automatic type conversion 10070, and I have a table called customer sales, and I believe the name is not correct. It's customer sales. I'm going to open it. There you go. It's a simple table. It's just some data about sales. The first column is the customer ID. Second column is the date of the sale. Then the customer name, the product category, units sold, and the quantity of units sold and unit price. So very simple table. But what I want to show you here is how the automatic data type conversion that keeps happening in Power Query, this could be a problem for you. So I just wanted to understand it so you can manage that problem. Let's import this table into Power Query. We already know how to do it. We learned how to do it in the previous videos. I'm just clicking data, then from table range, and I'm importing this table in Power Query. And a very important thing that I wanted to notice here, that everything we do in Power Query will be registered as a new step right here. So this panel on the right hand side of your screen is where you will see every transformation step in Power Query. Everything you do here will be registered as a new step. So if, for example, I want to remove any of these columns, let me select the date column, and if I click remove column, then I have a new step, removed columns. If I rename one of the columns, let me pick this column here, product category, and I'll double click the header and change the name, new name, and then hit enter. And then I have a new step, renamed columns. If, for example, I want to remove all of the rows and keep only the first 10 rows, I will select any of my columns, and then I go to keep rows, keep top rows. Don't worry, we will see all of these buttons here on the top panel as we move forward. So in this case, I want to keep only my top 10 rows, okay? And all the others were removed. And then I have an extra step, an additional step called kept first rows. So if, for example, in this column units sold, I want to add 10 to each row, I'm going to transform and then standard and add 10. So I will add 10 to each number, and now I have a new step added to columns. So you can see, and it is very important to notice that everything you do will be listed in this panel on the right hand side of your screen. And this is important because if you want to undo any action in Power Query, you never do it the way you do in Excel. In Excel, anytime you want to undo any action or any procedure, you can just use Control Z, but Control Z is not going to work in Power Query. So once we have a list of each step that we conducted associated with the transformation of our data. So if I want to undo any of these steps, I can just remove the last steps. So if I click the little red cross here, so my last step will be removed, okay, and my table will go back to the previous scenario. So another important thing to notice is that every step is taken based on the previous step. So each of these steps will generate a new table. So every new step will work on the table that was created in the previous step. So look, this removed, let me start over and give you a better example. So now I have the data that I imported, and I will just keep one single column. I'm going to the Home tab, and then I will remove all other columns and leave just one, okay? Just one. And you will see that my new step is removed other columns. So if I want to change something else, if I want, for example, to change the name of the column, I would double click the on the header and then change the name, new name. And when I hit enter, you will see that I have a new step, but this new step is based on the previous table that I created when I removed the other columns. So please consider every step as a different table, okay? Every step as a different table, which means any new step has to be performed, has to be conducted on the table that was created in the step immediately before the one you have right now. Okay, it could sound confusing, but as we move forward, this will all become more and more clear and make more sense. So let's start over, because I want to talk actually about, now I'm in Excel. In Excel, I can use Control-Z. Okay, so I'm starting over. I just wanted to give you an overview of why the steps right here are important. And now I don't have many transformations, only the basic ones. Whenever you import data into Power Query, Power Query has its default transformations that it will conduct even if you haven't requested it to. So there are automatic data transformations and table transformations that it will do as a default. And one of them is the changed type step. So this could be useful, but it could also cause you problems, because look, when my first step is like I said before in previous lessons, every step will create a piece of M code. So it's a code in M language. And this code will pretty much describe, in terms of coding, the steps that you created through these little and nice buttons here on top. Okay, so my first step is just to let Power Query know that I'm importing data from my current Excel workbook, and the data I'm importing is called Table 2, and I'm importing the content from Table 2 from my current Excel workbook. And my current Excel workbook has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns, okay, and each column has a name. But then by default, Power Query it's going to adamantly try to change the data types, because data types are important. We're going to discuss that in more details in another video, but data types are important. So Power Query knows it, and it's going to adamantly try to change it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that Power Query is doing it at the right moment, okay? So the point here is that when Power Query tries to change the data type, look, when I have this ABC123 on a column header, it means Power Query still hasn't identified the data type in this column. It doesn't know if this column is a numeric column or if it's a text column. So Power Query tries to identify and classify all of the columns in a given data type so it can know what procedures it can conduct on each data type. Of course, for example, if you want to do run any calculation with a column that only has text, it's not possible to sum up a text column, data in a text column, right? So if you want to take a square root of the numbers in a column, if that column is classified as text, you cannot do it. So the type of calculations and operations that Power Query can conduct on a given column depends on the type of data that it has in each column. So that's why changing the data type and assigning the right data type to each column is so important, and that's why by default Power Query will always try to do it. But sometimes that is not what you really want, because look, whenever Power Query, I will click the change type step, and whenever Power Query tries to automatically identify the data types, it will, let me just reorganize this code, and you will notice that each of these pieces of code refer to one of the columns in my table. Look, customer ID is this column, date is this column, customer is this column. So I have the names of each of the columns in my table, and then I have the data type that Power Query selected by itself. So it is predicting that customer ID is supposed to be a numeric column only with integers. So this little piece of code here, int64.type. So this means the numbers in this column are integers. So if I change it, for example, to type number, and then hit enter, now you will see that my type number changed and now it became a decimal number. Okay, so in each column you have a data type assigned by Power Query. The problem here is that once Power Query assigns a data type to a given column, it types in the name of the column in your code. And once your column name is typed in the code, it becomes a hard code. So whenever you change the step before, this is not going to automatically change your next step. So if, for example, look, in the first step, source, I don't have any reference to column names, but the second step shows reference to each column name. So let me change my source data. Let me close out of Power Query. I will keep my changes. And then in my original data, this is my original table, I will delete the customer ID and date column. Let me just remove them. And then I will open my query again. And now I will refresh my data. And now I have an error. It returns me an error. In the second step, I have an error. I don't have an error in the first step because, look, in the first step, my code doesn't make any reference to any column name. But my second step wasn't changed accordingly. So now it is looking for my customer ID column. It doesn't exist anymore. And the date column, and it doesn't exist anymore. So now I'm referring to two columns that are not available in my original table anymore. So that will return me an error. It says the column customer ID of the table wasn't found. Of course, I removed it from my original table. So if I just remove this chunk of code from my M code, now it's not looking for those tables anymore. And I can just click the end of my code, hit enter, and I don't have the problem anymore because now I let Power Query know that those tables, those columns no longer exist. But of course, the magic of working with Power Query is not having to change everything every time. You want to program Power Query to work for you in an automatic and autonomous way. So having to do these little tweaks in Power Query are just not smart. Of course, there are ways to work with Power Query and with TM language to avoid this problem, but you would have to use more advanced techniques, and we will explore those ways in another course, in our advanced Power Query course, and when we learn about the M language. But at this point, I don't want to get into that. It's going to get too complicated for this moment right now. But I want you to know that there are ways to avoid this, but these would be more advanced ways. So the only easy way to avoid this problem is if you just make sure your original data is somewhat uniform, which means if you have to update your data constantly, maybe you will have to update your data once a day or twice a day or 5 times a day. So just make sure your original data is not changing frequently. So of course, in the real life, maybe you will have to change your original data. And if you do it once in a while, there's no problem. You can just come to Power Query and do a little tweak and just change a little part of your code. It's not a big deal, but you don't want to have to do it every day, right? So just make sure your source data is not going to change very often. Like I said, if it changes once in a while, changing and adjusting your code here or your steps here in Power Query is not a big deal, but make sure it's not going to change all the time. And this problem only happens when you have columns being removed or being renamed. So Power Query identifies your columns by the column name. So if you have, for example, in this second step, Power Query is expecting to find the customer column. So in case you changed the name of your customer column, so Power Query no longer can find the customer column in your original data. So Power Query will understand it doesn't exist anymore. Maybe it's still there. Maybe you just changed the column name. But for Power Query, if the name changed, so it won't be able to find your column and it will think your column has been removed. And of course, as we have seen, if your column has been actually removed, of course, there's no data to find. And another way to work that's not as simple is just remove the automatic step created by default by Power Query to change your data type. Power Query will keep trying to guess the data type and change the data types because it can't actually work properly if it can't identify the data type. So just make sure, this is another way to work, just make sure that every time, pay attention to the steps right here. So every time Power Query tries to guess and change by default the data types without your request, so you can just remove it and make sure you will change the data types yourself at the right moment as you develop your steps, as you develop your program. Okay, maybe that might not be very easy in the real world because at some point you will have to define your data type before you can perform your calculations and your steps. So I would recommend that the best way to avoid this problem is just keeping your source data uniform. Make sure that columns will not be removed or renamed unless you are aware that you have to fix your codes and your steps in Power Query. Or the second option would be work with more advanced coding that we will have the chance to learn later on. I hope you liked this lesson. If you have questions, leave it in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this content. See you in the next video.